Attitude is the root cause for every happening in our life. Keep your attitude in the right path because it will lead you to the land of success. But first, you have to get out of your comfort zone, as it is the only way that will make you witness progress. Because when you step out of your comfort zone, you will discover a lot of things that you are missing, new paths, new ideas, and maybe new people. And one day, you will be grateful that you took that small leap of faith out of your comfort zone. It is a known fact that success happens to those who believe in themselves and trust their strengths. And you have to keep that in mind. You will find many hurdles in the path of success. And it is your job to find a way to jump off those hurdles without letting yourself down. Never ever give up, because constant effort is the key to success. Keep grinding and keep going no matter what. Next thing is, in order to reach the heights, our way of practicing life should be changed according to our current position. Keep going with changed habits, suiting your surroundings, and aiming to achieve success in your life. Believe that whatever work you are handling and whatever way you are dealing, the belief you are going to put into it is going to fetch you success. So believe in what you are doing and success will be yours automatically. And don't forget that being positive in your life counts the most. Positive thoughts give you positive results and happiness. Be positive in your deeds and have the mindset of a successful person. Self-motivation is very important to achieve quicker success. Motivate yourself and be the motivator for your activities. You will definitely get the first place very soon. Successes without obstacles are inevitable. It is in our hand to overcome those and win over. No one knows the destiny of their life, but one's destiny is in their hands. Perform your duties to your heart. Your destiny will be as good as you think.
Successful people come in all ages, shapes, sizes, and colors. But they all have one thing in common: a winning attitude. The person with the attitude that he can't do something will seldom do it. The person who believes he can does. Perhaps not the first time, but his attitude gives him the confidence to stay with it until it's been accomplished. When I was starting out to build my business, I used to call on advertising agencies in Chicago. I met a lot of receptionists and telephone operators. I'd give my greeting and ask how they felt, and I recall hearing on several occasions, in fact most of the time, the response, "I'm tired." I'd say, "Well, it's only 10 o'clock in the morning. How can you be tired already? No sleep last night?" "No," the receptionist would say, "I got plenty of sleep. I'm just tired in the mornings." These people had tired attitudes. They expected to be tired, but if they were leaving on vacation that morning or a special weekend were coming up, chances are they'd get up feeling great. Nearly every time I've started something of some size and risk, I've had people tell me not to try. "You'll just lose your shirt," they'd say. They had losing attitudes. I never gave it a thought, and you'll find that typical of people who get things done. They may proceed with great caution and care and go to great lengths to avoid making any unnecessary mistakes. But they fully intend to win, and when they do, with an attitude of failure, we're whipped before we start.
To me, that's the most profound thing in all of the knowledge of mankind. The most profound of all knowledge is the fact that the humblest person can take possession of his own mind. He can color it any way he chooses. He can project it into high places or into the gutter. He can make it a success or he can make it a failure. Just the change of his mental attitude changes from success to failure almost instantly. A burning desire is the sort of material of which faith is created. Do you know what a burning desire is? That's right, obsessional desire. Obsessional means a desire that takes possession of you, obsesses you. Now, there are a lot of desires in the world, but they're not burning desires, and they're not obsessional desires, and most people in their whole life never express or never experience an obsessional desire for anything. We start out with hopes, not too definite, but faint hopes for things, and wishes. Everybody wishes for a lot of money without having to work for it. Well, maybe not everybody, but of course my students don't. But a lot of people do, most people I'll say, wish for things, wish for a Cadillac when they're driving a Ford. If you want a Cadillac car and you make up your mind to have it, get out and see that the men under you or the job that you're holding, and see that you put into it that which will entitle you to a Cadillac car. But if you don't want a Cadillac car, the chances are you drive a Ford or something else the rest of your life. You have to want things. You have to want them with a burning desire, and then you have to do something about that burning desire. What is it? Action. You've got to start in right where you stand, showing that you do have faith in your ability. Start right where you stand with action. Now, here's a lot of examples of men of achievement. I'm not going to go over them. You know them. But there is one down here that I particularly want to call your attention to. That of Miss Helen Keller, who believed that she would learn to talk despite the fact that she had lost the use of her speech, her sight, and her hearing. Can you imagine that? Lost the use early in life of her speech, her sight, and her hearing. She couldn't hear, she couldn't see, and she couldn't speak. And yet, did you know, of course you do know, that Miss Helen Keller became one of the best educated women in the world. She's in contact with more public affairs and civic affairs and conditions all over the world than the 9/10 of the women who have all of their senses. Isn't it an astounding thing? And all she has to go by is vibration. If you speak to her, she puts your fingers up to her lips, and she can tell what you're saying by her fingertips. Entirely by vibration. Think with a woman with a handicap of that kind all the way through life, getting joy out of life, rendering useful service, making speeches. She's learned after a fashion to talk. Doing a great work where the majority of people would have settled for a tin cup and a bunch of lead pencils on a street corner with any one of those afflictions. While I was on the staff of Franklin D. Roosevelt, I passed at the corner of Pennsylvania Avenue and the street running by the White House. Every day I passed a man sitting there with a tin cup and some pencils. I became acquainted with that man. He had lost the use of his legs. He had the same affliction as Franklin D. Roosevelt, exactly. And it happened at about the same time. And I found out that he had even a better education than Franklin D. Roosevelt had. But there he was, out there with a tin cup and pencils, trying to eke out a living by begging. There was just a block away, there was the man with the most important and responsible position in the whole world, running a great nation, who also had lost the use of his legs, but he hadn't lost the use of his brain. He hadn't lost confidence in himself. These afflictions that come along, sometimes they turn out to be a great blessing. They teach us that, very often they teach us that we can get along without an eye, or without both eyes, or without legs, or without hands. We can get along without a lot of things if we have the right mental attitude toward what's left of us. That's important. If you would have faith, keep your mind on that which you want and not on that which you do not want.
The understanding of self-worth is the beginning of progress. Now, if those three don't get you, this one will. Worry. That's a devastating disease. Worry. Worry causes health problems, social problems, personal problems, family problems. It's devastating. Worry long enough, it'll drop you to your knees. Could reduce you to begging. I know how bad this one is. I used to have it bad. I used to be known as a super worrier. Not a super warrior. No, super worrier. My family wished I'd have been a warrior. I got those years to make up for. But I'll tell you what. My advice to you is do what I finally did on worry. Give it up. Who needs it? I'm not saying it's easy. I'm saying it's worth it. It took me almost 1 year to kick the worry habit, and it was not an easy year. It was one of the toughest years I ever spent, but I finally got that monkey off my back. And I discovered you could live the most incredible life free of worry. Not free of challenge, not free of difficulty, free of worry. I learned how to do it, and you can. Here's the next attitude disease. Over-caution. Some people never will have much. They're too cautious. Now, you can also be too reckless, but you can also be too cautious. This is called the timid approach to life. And my caution was always the risk. Risk used to drive me right up the wall. I used to say, what if this happens? It's called the language of the poor. What if this happens? And on top of that, if this was to happen, look at the fix I'd be in. I better not try. I could always ace myself out. Then I'll tell you what changed my whole life when I finally discovered it's all risky. The minute you were born, it got risky. If you think trying is risky, wait till they hand you the bill for not trying. If you think investing is risky, wait till you get the tab for not investing. See, it's all risky. Getting married is risky. Having children is risky. Going into business is risky. Investing your money is risky. It's all risky. I'll tell you how risky life is. You're not going to get out alive. That's risky. The Englishman says, well, if that's the way it's going to work out, let's give it a go. Right, that's what it's for. Give it a go. Somebody says, yeah, but I'm looking for safety and security. Fine, then huddle in a corner. We'll cover you with a sheet, bring you 3 meals a day. And we'll protect you, feed you, look after you, care for you. We won't let anything happen to you. And you'll probably live to be 100. The guy said, well, yeah, I'd live to be 100. But what a way to live. Right. What a way to live, safe and secure. Don't ask for security. Ask for adventure. Better to live 30 years full of adventure than 100 years safe in the corner. And see, it's not important how long you live. What's important is how you live.